In this video, we will discuss about multithreading. So what is multithreading? Multithreading is a process of creating multiple threads to execute different tasks at the same time. In Java, threads are used to execute two or more than two tasks concurrently. Multithreading is used in games, animation, etc. In this tutorial, we will focus on multithreading in Java. So why we need threads in Java? Threads can be used to perform complicated tasks in the background without interrupting the main program. So for example, we have two tasks and that is P1 and P2, and suppose P1 is a heavy task that takes a lot of time to execute and P2 is a lightweight process. But Java execute on single thread, so the P2, which is a light task, it will wait until the P1 is executed successfully. So to avoid this, we can introduce threads, and the threads will be used to execute both processes parallel at the same time. So now let's go and try to understand threads in Java by practical implementation. And I am now in my IDE, and here I will create a class called task, and in this class we will have two functions. The first function will be public void heavy task, and basically this will perform some kind of heavy operation. So for example, I will say it will execute a loop, and I will say int I 0, and it will run until that much time, and then I will plus plus. And here inside this loop, so we will not do anything inside this loop, just this loop will execute this time, that much time, right? And here I will just take the start time, that at what time the method is started. So I will say local date time dot now, and here I will just print this start time. I will say heavy task started at start time, right? And at the end of this method I will take the end time, so we will see at what time the task completed. The task ended. Okay, so now let's go copy paste this and create one more method, and I will say this one light task, and this task is just a light task, so it will execute. I will just remove this one and keep it like 10, so make it a light task. So in the light task, this loop will execute only the 10 times, okay, but in heavy task it will execute around this much executions, right? So now we have two tasks. Now let's go in our main class, and inside my main class I will create an object of this task class, task my task, and new task. Okay, and first of all I will call the heavy task, and then I will call the light task. So basically what is going on, that uh, we are executing the heavy task first, then we are executing the light task. So the light task will wait until the heavy task is completed. So I will run and execute this code. So as you can see, heavy task started, and then heavy task end at this time, and then we have light task started at, and then light task ended. So light task like it was waiting until the heavy task is completed. So heavy task takes a lot of time, so heavy until the heavy task didn't complete, so light task was waiting for that. So this is a problem, that light task is waiting to complete execution of the heavy task. So what we can do, we can run this heavy task in the background with the help of thread. So here I will create a thread. I will say my thread, and here I will do it like this way, and inside this we will have public void run method. Okay, let me close this. So, and I will just copy paste this one to here. So what is going on, actually I am running heavy task in the background with the help of thread. So now light task will not wait until the heavy task is completed. So heavy task will run, or we can say heavy task will execute on a separate thread, and my task, sorry, the light task will execute on a main thread. So now if I execute this code, so okay, so as you can see, light task has started and we have created that thread, but the heavy task didn't start. That is because we didn't start the my thread. So for that I will say my thread dot, I will call this my thread dot start method. So once I call this start method, it will start this thread. So now if I execute this code, so as you can see, light task started add and heavy task started add on a separate thread, and then last light task and here, right, and then heavy task ended here. So basically, as you can see, both task has been started. So both task didn't wait until the other task is completed. See, so we have light task started, so it didn't wait until the heavy task completed, and heavy task also didn't wait until the light task completed. So both task has started, okay, at same time. As you can see, the start time for both tasks are same, and then light task completed quickly, or we can say light task completed before the heavy task because it was performing the light operation. So this is how we can achieve the concurrency with the help of threads. In Java, threads can be created by two ways: extending the thread class and implementing runnable interface. So now let's go and explore both of these ways by practical implementation. First of all, I will clear up this code and I will remove this thread from our main class. And now let's go inside our task class, and I will create a thread by implementing runnable interface. And now it gives me the error that implement the run method. So we are creating the thread by implementing runnable interface, and then I will call this heavy task inside this run method. So whatever function you want to perform in the background, or with the help of thread, so you can call that function inside this run method. Now I will go here, and here I will create a my thread. I will create a thread and I will say my thread, and now here I will do it like that way, new thread, and here I will say my task. So basically this task, okay, this is implementing runnable interface, and here I have created a thread object, and inside this thread object we have passed this my task in a constructor. So now to start this thread, I will say my thread dot start. So the method which is inside this run, okay, so it will run only those method which is we mentioned inside this run method, and we have called my task dot light task separately here because we didn't call this inside this run method. Okay, so now if I execute the code, so as you can see, we are getting light task started, heavy task started, okay, at the same time, and then light task ended here and heavy task ended here. Okay, so there is a difference between end time because heavy tasks take much time. So as you can see, we are performing multitasking with the help of implementing runnable interface. And now let's go, and for example, if I don't call my task.light task here, so it will only execute the heavy task because light task is not call in our main thread, also not call in our run method inside my inside the task class. And for example, if I call it light task inside here, so both tasks will execute, but it will be executed like synchronously. First it will call the heavy task and then it call the light task. That is because both tasks are running on the same thread right now. Okay, so here I will remove it from here and I will uncomment this, and now I will execute it. So both tasks are executing on a different thread. So here as you can see, both tasks are started at the same time. The heavy task is called first, then it called the light task, but the start time are same at the both for the both task, and then the end time is different. And now let's go and explore the another way to create a thread by extending the thread class. So first of all, I will remove this code from here, and now I will go in the task, and here I will remove this one also. Okay, and I will remove this one also. Okay, so now we are good. Now I will create another class, and I will say I will create a heavy task thread, and I will execute it, and I will extend it with a thread. And here I will have a method called public void run. So everything will execute inside this run method. So now I will go in this class, and here I will copy this method from here, and I will paste it here, and I will copy the call of this from here to I will call it from here inside this here. So now I will go here, and here I will create a this object is for the light task, and here I will create a object for a heavy task thread, and here I will say heavy task thread and new heavy task thread. And now I will just call the start method, and now I will execute the code. So as you can see, both threads are started at same time, but here the light task end at this time. Okay, and this heavy task ended at this time. Okay, now if I execute it again, so here now let's execute it several time. So now here we are good. So as you can see, light task and heavy task started at same time, then light task completed first, then heavy task completed later, right? So although you can see I call the light task after the heavy task, so heavy task okay, it executed on a separate thread in the background. So that is how we can perform multitasking. As you have seen that we have created a threads with the extending thread class and also implementing runnable interface. So now let's see and find the difference between both of them. Extending thread, extend class with thread if your class will perform only thread functionality. Implement runnable, use runnable interface if your class will perform other tasks beside the thread. If class extend thread, that class will not be able to extend any other class. Class can extend and implement other class in interface if we implement it with the interface. So these are the basic difference between both of them. And this is all about threads. And if you have any confusion, you can leave your comment in the comment section. Kindly subscribe my channel, click on the bell icon. See you in the next video.